It is August 24th, 2026, Monday morning. Hope everybody had a good weekend. The S&P 500 is looking to open up a little lower than where we closed on Friday. NASDAQ is looking to retrace Friday and Thursday of last week to lows of the week, or the past couple weeks actually. So we'll see where we go today. What's in the news? Bitcoin up, gold up over 1%. Climbing back towards those all-time highs of hitting 5,400. Do we see another, 15% rally from here in gold? Bitcoin rallying as well, looking to break out above 80K. ETH sitting just below 2,500 over the weekend, up 1% overnight. Very good looking charts. Very bullish looking charts. Hype hit $84. Lighter is at $350 right now. Lighter is flying. Holy shit. This is coming off of Donald Trump saying that Hype will be regulated and come to the US. Perpetuals markets are a real thing. Very, very, very interesting. Bessent could tap near 1 trillion Treasury general account to fund bond buybacks, sources say. Oh no, this is what's going to send Bitcoin to the moon, my friend. To the moon. Treasury could use its nearly 1 trillion general account to help fund its recent announced plans to increase purchases of government bonds, according to 2 senior Treasury officials. Would give them considerable firepower. Influence long-term bond yields. The Treasury surprised the market last week with an announcement that it doubled the size of its buybacks from $2 billion to $4 billion. Such operations could be even larger than the new higher minimum. However, Treasury made no mention of how it would fund the purchases. Most market participants assumed it would also do so by selling short-term bills. The senior Treasury official did not rule that out. A Treasury twist, a reference to a government or Federal Reserve operation where long-term treasuries are bought and paid for with short-term issuance. That also implied that short-term bonds would be sold. But since the surprise announcement, bonds have retreated from initial rally, sending yield higher in part because of skepticism voiced by many market analysts about how effective the operation would be and whether the Treasury resources were too limited. It's already funded with existing tax collections. Bessent has built up the TGA to around $950 billion currently, compared with a stated goal under the Biden administration of $550 to $600. Wow, they were almost double. The TGA size is discretionary. When Janet Yellen ran the Treasury, officials said the goal was to set the TGA at a week ahead of cash needs. The current Treasury says it sets the account consistent with Treasury's long-standing cash balance policies. Wanted to maintain a near $1 trillion level, additional bonds would have to be sold to build it back up. Running it somewhere lower would not appear to entail any immediate risk. Reducing the TGA would mean the government would have less cash on hand in the event of a new debt ceiling impasse. But the latest estimates are that a new limit won't be hit until the winter of next year, perhaps not until the early spring. That would give time to build it back up if needed. Meanwhile, bond yields could be influenced by even a small use of the TGA, or even just a recognition that the Treasury would use it to buy government bonds. Interesting. Regular and predictable about bond sales and that it was gaming the market. The announcement of the enhanced buyback came 2 weeks after the quarterly refunding announcement, when such information would normally be relayed to markets. No change had been made to the actual auction schedules. They added the announcement was made nearly 3 weeks before the first operation will take place on September 9th, giving markets time to prepare. Interesting. Expected progress in the deficit when tariff revenue returns after court mandated refunds are replaced by new tariffs. And he said that top officials would be meeting soon to forego plans that would improve the fiscal situation. Interesting. Dude, lighter ripping from 320 to 360 yesterday. The weekend was good for them. Holy God, dude. Holy God. Holy God. One moment, chat. Need to blow. Should have did that before we went live. Sorry. They asked too much Canadian dollar slides as Ottawa and Washington head for all-out trade war. Oh no, what's happening? What is happening, chat? The Canadian dollar fell on Monday morning after trade talks between Ottawa and Washington fell apart, leaving both sides facing higher prices on a wide array of imported goods and threatening Canada's economic growth. The U.S. on Saturday slapped 50% tariffs on around $20 billion worth of imports from Canada, its second biggest trading partner after Mexico. Affected goods span dairy, wine, wood products, furniture, cement, ceramics, and a slew of other areas. Isn't this going to hit inflation, though? Right? Doesn't this hurt Americans? Canadian Prime Minister Carney said he would retaliate dollar for dollar with tariffs starting September 8th, targeting sectors such as steel, dairy, we trade dairy back and forth, agricultural equipment. How the fuck are you going to make any of your food up there? Paper and electronics. You need all that. We need that, and you need what we got. Why aren't we coming to a deal here? What the fuck? What's the imbalance? Canadian Prime Minister said he'd retaliate. Oh yeah, Canadian dollar was a 0.5% lower. As a smaller, more open economy, Canada has more to lose from this, but Prime Minister Mark Carney seems to have opened the door to more fiscal stimulus to support affected businesses. FX Strategies at Bank ING wrote in a Monday note. North American economist at Capital Economics told CNBC that Canada faced a bigger impact to its economy from the duties than the U.S. did. The high levy rate made the most exposed industries could be crippled. Targeted goods only comprise around 0.6% of Canada's gross domestic product. A collapse in exports would still be enough to push already weak GDP growth back towards zero. Such a U.S. demand for finished items such as furniture and electrical equipment had knockoff effects on upstream primary industries, which were already struggling. Strike a deal. We got attacked. U.S. and Canada exports tens of billions in agricultural products to each other. While their auto industries are deeply intertwined, the U.S. 4.83 billion trade war deficit. The U.S. is 48 billion trade deficit with Canada is in large part due to its significant imports of Canadian natural gas, electricity, and crude oil. Wait a minute here. What's the total though? Like what is that percentage of the total trade? They never tell you that. Compromise Canada's blah blah blah. They're like, we're gonna just hit you with tariffs. You're at war when you get attacked. We got attacked. They feel like they got attacked. Recent polling suggests a majority of the public support hardline U.S. negotiations, but a growing number are fearful of their job security. Ongoing U.S. tariffs of 50% could cause around 90,000 job losses to Canadians. 90,000? How many people are there in Canada? Just a million people? What's the population of Canada? These things matter. You're giving me half the fucking data. Okay, the trade deficit's $48 billion. That seems like a lot until you realize there's like $100 trillion in trade going on, right? Like, I need to know the other half of the fucking number. I need the denominator here. You know what I'm saying? You gave me the numerator. Now, what's the denominator? Timmy two-time Turner got released from prison yesterday. Y'all keep your doors locked. Hide your kids. Hide your wife. What? What? Arctic Camo. Good morning. Jesus, what am I reading, my dude? What is that? My guy got me out here reading. UPS is investing $2 billion in international healthcare supply chain. Besant stocks making the biggest move. Alibaba's getting beat up because they issued a bunch of shares to compete on AI. Happy New Day, y'all. Happy New Day, man. We need Eat the Fly this morning. We need BMNR to continue to fly above $19 here. We need to get to 23.15 is our break even, which we seem to be at. That's nice. That's very nice. What else we got here? UPS investing $2 billion in international healthcare and supply chain units. Very interesting. Very interesting. Paramount, Warner Brothers antitrust challenge may hold up more deals than one. Singapore, inflation hits highest in nearly 2 years but undershoots expectations. Interesting, interesting. Stop telling kids they can do anything. Fuck you, lady. Who the fuck is this lady? Julia Fraga, contributor? Just because your life sucks, dude. What? My kids can do anything. Just because your kids fucking suck. If you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. That's one of the most common lies I hear parents in psychotherapy practice tell their kids. Most of the time, though, these parents don't even realize they're relaying a false message. Fuck you, lady. There's nothing wrong with expressing encouragement and support, but telling your kids they can accomplish anything conveys that every aspiration is within their reach. It also suggests that hard work is all it takes to achieve goals that few people do, such as becoming a pop star or getting into Ivy League college. Dude, this lady, fuck this lady. So what do you tell them? Not to try? Don't try. You're not going to make it at everything. You can't do all the things you want to do. Just, fuck it. Be fucking lackadaisical and work at McDonald's the rest of your life. Put the fries in the bag, kid. Seen this advice backfire. Focusing too much on outcomes can reinforce external motivation. Nobody said we're focusing on outcomes. Dude, if you want to work hard and do something and you're really interested in it more than most people, and you spend more time on it than most people, you'll probably end up in the top of that fucking field, whatever it is, and you'll be just fucking fine. Dude, what the fuck? Try new things, even if sometimes it takes time for hard work to pay off. That's true. This is also true. These are also true. If you put your mind to it, you can keep going. Isn't this the same thing? You won't be good at everything, and that's okay. These are also good. But also, if your kid really wants it, I don't like this article. Fuck this article. I'm out. I'm out. UPS, Brown, what can Brown do for you? You done failed, Cynthia. Bad Barbie. PsyOps. That is a PsyOps. That's like teach your kid to fucking go get a job and put the fries in the bag, dude. That article's super sketch. I'm fucking out, dude. I need to hit the joint after that. Like, shit. I need to get really high and dumb for that to make sense, right? Don't tell your young kids that they can do anything they want while they're interested in everything. Don't let them be interested in being a fireman or a police officer or a pilot or a scientist. No, 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 no. Your kid, you're not going to be able to do all that. You might have bad eyesight. You won't be able to be a pilot, okay? You might not be good at math. You might not be able to be a scientist, all right? It just is what it is, kid. You think anybody's going to say that to their kid? Fuck. Wait, there's a positive? What's the positive? They told you to get rid of the positive. Only tell your kids negatives. UPS is investing more than $2 billion into its business across its international healthcare and supply chain solutions, as the company told CNBC exclusive on Monday. 2024 will continue through 2028, so this is already happening. This is old news, 2-year-old news. Had it not previously disclosed the total investment, the shipping giant said it aims to help businesses move faster, stay adaptable, changing macroeconomic pressures, and global supply chain disruptions. These investments are really aligned to be one of our big strategic areas of focus. Customers, particular in complex industry, to more effectively run their global supply chains. Some of the projects under the investment include a new hub in the Philippines this year, a new Canadian facility. Oh, that's fucked with all the fucking shit going on right now. 6 a.m. over there? You're 2 hours behind. Where are you at, Arctic Camo? UPS launched a tech-enabled logistics center in Taiwan, a supply chain solutions facility in Amsterdam that combines freight, brokerage, and cold chain. That's interesting. Able to leverage automated robots to increase the supply chain speed by a day. The logistics company also said it has flights running 5 times a week between Paris, Hong Kong, and between Shenzhen, China, and Sydney to meet growing demand. Wow. Global supply chains get more complicated. Asia are becoming more important for companies than they were before. In a lot of cases, the supply chain looks more like their histories than their strategies, he said. They need very agile, very effective solutions to connect the new parts of their businesses. They need a lot of optionality and a lot of flexibility, and that's what we're investing in. What does that mean? Into 27 temperature controlled facilities across its network to supplement healthcare initiatives, including the shipment of temperature sensitive medications like GLP 1s. Everybody's on a GLP 1. Oh my God, they're shipping so much of it. $48 million investment into those. That announcement came as logistic companies around the globe are racing to stay ahead of growing demand in niche areas like cold chain storage, especially as macroeconomic pressure disrupts global supply chains. Don't have all their operational eggs in one basket. Interesting. GLP 1s are becoming so important in everybody's lives that we're fucking building cold storage for it. That is wild when you really think about it. United needs to decide what to do with the Boeing 737 MAX 10 seats. United's second to Delta, so I kind of respect any of United's problems compared to other airlines. Didn't it? I saw an article that another airline went out of business. What airline went out of business? Your old state, bud. Don't need them. Colorado. Dude, I miss me some Colorado. Colorado. Is anybody even watching over there? No. Nobody's watching. Oh, wait, it says offline. Oh, it says somebody is watching on X, and I haven't looked at the chat over there. Who's over there? Scroll down. Nobody said anything, though. All right, well, we got the chat up. We have the restream chat up. I need to put... That's what I'm going to do tonight. I told myself before the stream I was going to update... Why is this all messed up all of a sudden? I was going to update the old stream overlay a little bit. So that's what we will do. Wow, this was all messed up. We'll get the restream chat up so that people can chat on YouTube or X, and it will be seen on the stream. In August 2018, then president and now CEO of United Airlines, Scott Kirby told a room of reporters at an aviation conference in Denver about the airline's big plans for the new Boeing 737 MAX 10. Lie flat premium seats and a host of profitable transcontinental routes. The plan was supposed to start flying in 2020, but then COVID hit and Boeing fucked up all their planes. What happened? Hundreds of those seats have been in storage because its certification, which was expected more than 6 years ago, is far behind schedule. Now Boeing and many of its customers expect the company to win federal approval for the plane. The largest and the best-selling 737 MAX family soon, so United has decided what to do with all those seats. We got a bunch of lie-flat seats that we don't know what to do with. Wait, what? They don't fit on other airplanes. United hasn't disclosed the layout it will use in the planes or whether we'll fly them. The airlines said its early plans for the Boeing 737 MAX 10 before it even offered a premium economy section. Smallest model and yet to be certified MAX 10 came after the manufacturer had to redesign an anti-icing system. Dealing with increased scrutiny after years of safety, manufacturer crises. Boeing won approval for the MAX 7. Southwest Airlines, sometime in the first half, United pivoted because of the Boeing delays and recently outfitted a sub-fleet of Airbus A320neo narrow-body aircraft with 20 of the newly designed Polaris suites. Subfleet coastliner, but the dimensions and requirements aren't the same on both planes, leaving United with a decision on what the interiors will look like. It expects to get the first MAX 10 in summer 2027, and it has 167 of the aircraft on order. So they're eventually going to put them in, or write them off and fucking order new ones. Because it's been fucking a decade. That's wild. Alibaba plunges after announcing a $10.2 billion share placement to fund their AI push. That's wild. Chili's stock. Who is going to Chili's? What are we talking about? Chili's stock, chat? Not Wendy's? What about fucking Wendy's, dude? I sold my Wendy's options at a profit. Of course, we're over $9 now. Of course, we are. Could have hold those calls, but nope. It's all right. We're gonna do a lot. We're up massively. We are up massively on the account. The account is hitting 51,000 in value. Let that not fool you, though. That number will go up and down. It is about the actual assets we have purchased and the cash flow, because we will be borrowing against this account to live, my friend. But on the 1 week, we are up $5,000. On the 1 month, we are up $8,000. On the 3 month, we're back down to 7,000. On the year to date, we are up 5 racks, baby. On the 1 year, 5,500. An all-time, current all-time. We are now green on the charts. We are all-time green. Look at that. Look at that. Didn't take long to get all-time green again. With some big, massive green candles in there. Gotta love it. Got to love it. You know what's really, though, extremely interesting about this Agentic account is actually doing good. Where the fudge? Why is it not like showing? Why can't I not scroll up and see the motherfucking account? This Agentic account is actually doing good and is up 3%. That's fucking wild to me, dude. That is absolutely wild. This thing's still trading? Hold on, it bought a bunch of crypto. Did it sell any of the crypto? I haven't even looked at this in a while. I'm just letting it do its thing. It's got some Sky. It's got Lighter. We've probably already sold some. Oh no, Lighter closed. Did that close over the 821? Oh no, we closed that then. Interesting. So we're just holding what we have in the account, waiting for a pullback. We're holding Bitcoin. We're holding ETH over here. We'd love to see a pullback and an entry into the QQQs. That would be so nice. Total tradable value is $634 over here. But it only has 680. Oh, because it's trading the crypto in my other account. It trades crypto through this individual account, which is kind of annoying. I wish it could trade the crypto in the Agentic account. You know what I'm saying? If it could trade crypto in the Agentic account, that would be tight to have it all in one account. Because it's actually trading the crypto on my individual side over here where it holds ETH, Bitcoin, Sky, with a little bit of light Lighter token here chilling. Makes me want to say Litecoin, but it is not Litecoin. We have also been using this USDG Global Dollar, the Robinhood stable token is very interesting. You can do a carry trade here. It doesn't help with your margin. It takes away from your margin, and I can't show it to you on here. I have a bunch of USDG, but it's minted and staked on their blockchain for a 7% yield, and it doesn't show it to you in the app. But I've been keeping, because you can carry trade with your margin. So any extra margin I have, I leave a little bit in here for the crypto trades to happen from the agentic bot. But any margin I have, I immediately pull out. It's a 5% interest rate for me to use the funds, but you get 7% if you stake it on chain. You get 7%, so you can do a carry trade for 2%. If that makes any sense, if people understand what a carry trade is. And so it's profitable for you to just always use all of this, keep it in a stable token, and you're earning constantly. You don't listen. I'm a guy in my basement who smokes a joint with you every morning and drinks coffee and only has $50,000 in the account, so I'm not fucking rich, okay? Do not listen to me. None of this is financial advice. I am a total freaking idiot, okay? I'm a total idiot. This is just what I'm doing, all right? And so I keep this all staked and I'm earning interest on it. And then as I need it, I can unmint. Or if there's a big crash in the market and I want to buy the dip, I can unstake it all with the earned interest and buy the dip, or release it to relieve the pressure on my margin, or whatever that may be, if that makes sense to any of the peoples that are out there. If there is anybody out there. Let's see. Let's go. 2 people on Twitch, 1 on X. We appreciate whoever the X viewer is out there. Silent X viewer, we appreciate you. Let's go. Been watching the new Mario movies with the boy. It's been fun. Nvidia customers reportedly warned about AI related price hikes. Do they mean like regular retail customers? Like, what do we mean here? What are we talking about? Oh, some of its Nvidia plans to hike prices for some of its largest customers. The chip maker is set to increase the cost of servers containing its artificial intelligence chips, including Vera Rubin and Grace Blackwell, by more than 15% in some cases, according to the outlet. The price gains will reportedly depend on the chip generation and memory configuration. Customers can expect the price increase to take effect on system shipping next year. Wow. There is such a demand that you can just not pay enough for these things. That's the wildest in the world. Trump media CEO defends selling faster access to president's post, says more have signed up. This is literally insider trading at its best, right? Trump medium. Who the fuck is this guy? Looks like a crackhead. Just off the rip, dude. You've taken too many GLP-1s. You need to get a new suit. The suit does not fit you anymore. You're too thin for your suit, sir. And I'm seeing like too many bones. All right, dog? CEO Kevin McGurn on Monday defended his company offering faster access to President Donald Trump's truths. Isn't it 100K? We're getting into the mid teens now and we're climbing. When asked if companies have started paying for the service dubbed Truth API, which cost up to $100,000 a month. What? Who is paying for this other than high frequency traders that are going to make money? Who is actually paying for this? That's an increase for a month per month, dog. Not annually, per month. That's an increase from 2 weeks earlier. First quarterly earnings call that more than 10 customer agreements have been signed. Oh my God. I was thinking teens and thousands. They mean like less than 20 people have signed up for that. Like when he says mid-teens now, he literally means 15 customers. Okay, who are the 15 customers? Truth API has garnered intense scrutiny from critics who argue that since the president often makes market moving announcements through his Truth Social account, the service effectively lets deep pocketed firms trade on valuable information before the rest of the public. Trump is a top shareholder in TMTG, with his stake being held in a revocable trust. Man, none of this makes sense anymore, and you can't stop it. Like, because he's such an influential person, he can influence the value of this company without it being in it. Like, doesn't matter if it's in a revocable trust. Dude, that is fucking wild to me, man. Fortia Bank's offering 5% on its high yield savings account. Here's how to get it. Damn, we're pushing banks to give up the juice, baby. Because you can get 7% on Robinhood. You could get 7% right now. I wish I could show you what I have in there. I have like $2,300 of USDG earning that right now. And the rest of my funds, and I was thinking, what do I do with it this morning? Do I put it into more BMNR calls? So looking at these, do I buy some more further out of the money calls to get more of them? To have more upside, but I don't think so. I think I have such a good position here. I need to let it ride. And really my thing is I need cash out of here. That money was set aside to redo my back patio, which gets started this week. I don't know if we document that for the stream and the use of the funds because it is coming out of this account or not. It's not like anybody watches or cares anyway. Comment below if you fucking care. So now I'm in this hard position of what if I think the bull market is returning and we have a lot more upside in Bitcoin and ETH coming? Well, then I don't want to sell these BMNR calls. They're fucking printing. These things are absolutely printing, and I entered them at the most beautiful position to where I'm now at a break even point as we speak. Is this right? 2344? Is this where we're at, even though ETH is down? Oh no, I'm looking at later on there. That's why that number was confusing me. Okay. Yeah, BMR's flying, and I'm about to fucking print money off these calls over the next 6 months that they're live. Like, it's so hard for me to sell them. So then what am I going to do? As these are printing, I have to sell other assets. I got to go back to all this long holding dividend shit, and I got to be like, all right, what can I clear out as that's making money to actually get the patio done? And I will rebuy it when I'm done with my BMNR Carlos that end in February of next year. They're only open for another 6 months, you know? I don't know what to do there. But if this is going to run like this, oh my fucking shit, God. If this is going to keep running, I have to hold the position. I cannot turn this trade off right now. It's fucking printing. It'd be retarded to turn that off, right? Nobody's here to even help me with the decision. Fuck. That $12,000 in patio money is chilling. Strategy raised $2 billion through master sales and created a new USD cash pool. Of course, as they get back in the green, dude, people are like, holy fuck, give this guy money. He's a legend. He made it through the bear market again. What can I say? This man made it through another bear market. That is wild. I mean, he's becoming a legend day by day. This man is becoming a legend, Michael Saylor. Bitcoin treasury firm Strategy raised approximately $2 billion last week through the sale of 18.26 million shares of common stock, according to the filing on Monday. Strategy allocated 300 million of the proceeds to its USD reserves and used 134 million to repurchase 1.43 million shares of its variable rated preferred stock Stretch. The remaining proceeds were directed towards a newly established liquidity pool called USD Cash. Strategy held 5.1 billion in its USD reserves and 1.59 billion in USD cash as of August 23rd, giving the company total dollar liquidity of 6.69 billion. 6.69, nice. USD reserves remain designated to support dividend payments on Strategy's preferred stock. See, the interesting thing about this is they've set the dividend so high on Strategy that you can't even do like a carry trade on chain or anything like that, which Bitcoin doesn't even have. There's no like on chain DeFi, but like where could he do it? Like I would think you would set the dividend low enough that you could earn a yield on cash held and assets held to pay the dividend without really going into your cash reserves all the time, if that makes sense. That's where this scares me, is the dividend's so high. The company did not buy or sell any Bitcoin. Strategy has now repurchased 483 million of preferred stock. It's an interesting article. Financial repression. What? Financial repression, the new buzzword for Bitcoin bulls. Should I just start using this on every call? Well, because of the financial repression, Bitcoin and crypto is in a great spot to do really well over the course of the next 2 years. Two recent developments suggest that heavily indebted governments are turning to the old playbook. Oh my god, here we go again. It's like fucking clockwork, dude. It's the same narrative. One that's generated a lot of buzz on social media. It could prove to be long-term bullish tailwind for assets such as Bitcoin and gold. That playbook is financial repression, a policy governments use when the debt grows too large to manage through free markets. And default is politically and socially unacceptable. The government transfers wealth from savers to itself by eroding the inflation adjusted value of cash and bonds over time. They do so by keeping interest rates below inflation, forcing banks and pension funds to buy government bonds, government debt, trapping savers at home by borrowing overseas financial services. The new EU rule limiting where savings can sit is an example of that. Banks based outside the EU will not be able to provide core banking services, including deposit taking to clients residing in the EU, unless they operate a licensed branch in that member state. Repression by capping interest rates. Analysts by Deutsche Bank and Citi, the Treasury bond buyback. The two approaches essentially penalize savers and could prompt them to chase assets that preserve capital and fall outside of the core banking and financial system. Two such assets are Bitcoin and gold. Wow. This is the same narrative. I feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day, and this happens every 4 years. Like, is it just me? Nobody's watching to help confirm with me, but this is the same bullshit narrative that happens every 4 years. Oh my god. Oh my god, the government debt, the inflation, the spending, it's out of control. Bitcoin and gold, oh my god, the dollar's weak. Arctic Camo says you must believe to achieve patterns. Yes, okay, very interesting. Recognize the pattern to make money in the waves. I do agree with that a little bit, to a little bit. I also just love my long term dividend holdings. I love just the SPY and the QQQ where I don't even have to fucking worry about any of the waves, the motion in the ocean. I just let it roll, my dude. How Bitcoin rallies attract Fed experiment shows how Bitcoin rallies attract new crypto buyers. Isn't that the one I just read? It's like the same fucking article by a different person. Bitcoin steadies near 78,000. Is Morpho up 14? Jesus fucking what? Is this wrong over here? It was up 14% yesterday. Oh my god, dude. DeFi. We are about to have the craziest DeFi summer ever. Have I not been screaming this from the rooftops, dude? Dude, the wildest DeFi fall is happening. Keep staring at your corns. Don't look over here, please. Please, please, do not look over here. Jackson Hole. Ether is crushing Bitcoin at the Golden Cross, says it may not be done yet. Is ETH actually gaining against? Wow, it's only 840. ETH, the ETH BTC. How do I see this on TradingView? Oh, wow. This is so fucked, this chart. Look at how depressed ETH is to Bitcoin. It has room to easily double from here against Bitcoin. That's why I'm so hard into the BMNR calls, because I think ETH might actually finally outperform Bitcoin. There's just so much actually happening on Ethereum. God, and it got so beat down versus Bitcoin this last cycle. Like, even just to get back to that where it peaked is crazy work, you know? ETH has just so much room to grow. So much room to grow, my friend. Ray Dalio thinks the world is crashing. He recommends a bit of Bitcoin and gold. Ether has outperformed Bitcoin over 2 months, and the trend looks set to continue with the Golden Cross having recently formed on the ETH BTC ratio. The crossover is identified when an asset's rolling 50-day average price surpasses its 200-day average. It's said to reflect a short-term trend, outperforming the longer-term trajectory, with the potential to evolve into a full-blown bull run. Dude, it's going down, dude. Clarity Act, every single bank and financial institution you know of is building on Ethereum. Robinhood just launched an L2 on Ethereum. Base is an L2 on Ethereum. Kraken's Inc. is an L2 on Ethereum. Like, please, dude, it can't be more obvious. It can't be more fucking obvious out here. It's just that nobody watches the stream. That's okay. I mean, dude, I'm fucking printing money out. This is not financial advice. I'm a guy getting high in my basement drinking coffee every morning, but goddamn here. Goddamn, I've been screaming this for months, dude. For months, dude, Arctic camo. I've been fucking screaming it. Gnarly Charlie went into the woods to buy some barley. What? Excuse me? Are you in like a fucking Vietnam flashback right now? What the fuck is going on? Good morning, Vietnam! My dude is out here in the middle of a flashback. Like, what? What is going on, Arctic? Jesus Christ. What? Like, what? Uh, I try to be that different dipping sauce. Uh, that's fucking great. Ray Dalio, he freaks out. He's always a bear, but he's actually right this time. Prominent fund manager Ray Dalio says investors should hold a bit of Bitcoin. The U.S. government heads deeper into the debt problem that could eventually weaken the dollar and make bonds less attractive. The Bridgewater Associate founder said Friday that several recent moves in government bond markets fit the pattern he described in his book, How Countries Go Broke. Those include Japan selling some of its U.S. Treasury holdings, long term U.S. bond yields rising alongside a weakening dollar, announcing the government will increase the bond buybacks. This is literally the same fucking playbook that happens every 4 fucking years, dude. Crypto investors widely attribute last week's rally to the buyback tweaking. Bitcoin climbing about 63. We're at 78. We're about to hit fucking 80. Mr. Waffles, let me know if you're trying to buy some BTC on exchange this morning. I'll buy some so it will dip immediately. Mr. Waffles. Please make a purchase. I need a pullback. I need a pullback so I can buy more. Please. Please. I would love if you would do that. Could you please? Oh, man. Several recent moves in the government bond market fit the pattern he described in his book, How Countries Go Broke. These include Japan selling of U.S. Treasuries. Oh my God, we're so fucked. Crypto investors widely attributed last week's rally to the buyback tweaks, with Bitcoin climbing from 63.5 to Wednesday above 78. This is just the narrative swing that was needed, dude. Oh my God. Bitcoin was so... everything was so fucked. This is the weekly chart. October of last year, it has just been a year of pain. One full year of absolute pain. And look at that ungodly candle we had last week, and we're still going up. Oh my God. Bitcoin's rallying to above 2,500. BMNR is about to fucking fly today. We're just going to print so much money. I don't know how to say it any other way than the money just prints itself. You know? The money just it's out here printing itself. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to put the fries in the bag, dude. You don't need to sell coral. You don't need to sell phytoplanktons, dude. You don't need to fucking sell Amazon returns, all right? You don't need to drive for DoorDash. You don't need a real job. Money isn't real, as Ian M would say. The U.S. government expects to collect 5.5 trillion in revenue this year while spending roughly 7.5. We're missing $2 trillion. Come on, dude. How do we close that gap? God damn, that's like a 50% too. Like, what are we doing here? Federal debt, excluding money to the government, owes itself stands near 32 trillion, while interest costs alone are expanding to reach about 1 trillion. If investors turn less willing to buy government bonds, the weak demand pushes yields higher as government offers better returns to attract buyers. Higher rates make borrowing more expensive and can weigh on markets and the economy. Central bank to create money and buy more debt, which can weaken the currency and raise inflation. This is what's happening. He recommends underweighting bonds, holding roughly to 10 to 15% of a portfolio in gold and owning a bit of Bitcoin. He didn't give a target allocation for BTC, though he told investors to allocate 15% of their portfolios to gold or Bitcoin. Wow. I hate to be such a doomer and say, I think he's right, but I think the guy's right. For now. He's right for now. The narrative holds for now. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. There used to be an XRP button here. What happened? Did their money run out? Did the XRP contract go up? What happened? Wow. Why does this... Ethereum's next big upgrade has 66 proposals, including a major privacy. Bitcoin holds. Ethereum's next upgrade breaks 21,000 gas. My man. My man Tom Lee. Bitmine now owns 4.8% of Ethereum supply after latest ETH purchase. Ethereum treasury company Bitmine Immersions added more of the tokens to its balance sheet, bringing its total holdings up to 5.8 million tokens. In an announcement Monday, the company-led chairman Tom Lee said that it bought another 9,926 ETH last week, continuing its weekly buys. It holds 4.8% of ETH's total supply, while its tokens worth about 11 billion at current price of 1,904,000. Oh my God, it's crushing. He's now in the profit. This dude is about to go to the moon, dude. Oh my God, chat. Oh my God. Dude, I'm seriously thinking about buying more way out of the money calls on Bitmine Immersion. Like way out of the money calls, leaps, contracts that have time to execute with the little bit of cash I have left. Like, I just think there's no stopping this train, as Lynn Alden would say. There's no stopping this fucking train right now. In this narrative, this narrative, it's a really hard to get into, and when we get into this narrative, it takes a year or two to get the fuck out of it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like, we're not going to flip tomorrow and be like, oh, the deficit. We're fixing that. America's great again. We're AAA plus rated, perfect. That ain't happening anytime fucking soon. Oh my god, it's flying before the market opens. Oh, what is happening, dude? I didn't buy enough. I didn't have enough cash on hand, dude. I didn't have enough cash on hand, unfortunately. We didn't have enough cash on hand. I'm never letting these calls go. This is going to say $100,000 before I stop. For every $4 BMNR goes up, I gain $8,000. I mean, easy game. Not financial advice, but God, I mean, I cannot let that position go. It is such a great position. I have to almost ride it all the way to the end. And I can't even like when I go to look at market open here, looking at what it would cost to add to that position now is just so painful with how good of a position that already is, if that makes sense. Ethereum lending app Term Finance loses 8.5 million after attacker buys voting power. Oh my god. How is this not over with? Oh my god, the old voting with the governance token hack, dude. Is that even a hack? Can you consider that a hack? Ethereum's lending platform Term Finance has lost an estimated 8.5 million after an attacker seemingly acquired enough voting power to take control of some of its lending vaults. Oh my god, the attacker removed 2,800 ETH worth about 6.9 million and 1.6 million USDC. Blockchain data shows draining about 68% of the assets held in Term's vault. Oh, how is that even possible without it being like an insider? Like, how was Term decentralized that much that their governance voting token could screw them? Held about Term's meta vaults held about 12.45 million before the attack. Oh my god, it was almost all the money. Whoa. How the game. On-chain monitoring service DeFi, the attacker cheaply acquired a majority of the protocol's sparsely held governance tokens that gave holders voting rights over how the protocol operated. Used the voting power to pass a proposal to give it control of the vaults. Wouldn't that like take time? Wouldn't people see it coming? Like, how could that pass that fast? The attacker may have used voting rights acquired on the open market, but the alleged use of those rights to assume control of depositor assets is unlikely to be viewed as ordinary governance. Yeah, like what? Since while the transactions were valid under the protocol's code, authorities could still treat the conduct as an exploit or misappropriation. It has permanently shut down the product, blocked new deposits, and removed the governance permissions that allowed changes to the vaults. Direct borrowing and lending markets were not affected based on the company's investigations. Dude, this is fuck. The vaults were built using Yearn's V3 infrastructure, widely used software that automatically moves deposits between. Why wouldn't you just put the money in Yearn? Yeah, why wouldn't you just put the money in fucking Yearn? This is why you use Yearn specifically. This is why you use Yearn. Wow, people are dumb, dude. That is fucking just dumb. Just add risk on top of risk. Why do you need to? Oh my god. Crypto roars back. Bitcoin's flying. ETH is flying. The government is spending. What's new over here now that it's about to be 9 a.m.? Anything? Any new articles pop up? U.S. Trade Rep Greer blames Canada for failed tariff talks. They wanted more. High number of baby boomers. Millions of people roll money from a workplace retirement plan to an individual retirement account each year, and mistakes can prove both costly and irreversible. Rollovers have gotten more common as baby boomers hurtle into their retirement years. Investors rolled 682 billion dollars into IRAs in 2023, more than triple the amount from the early 2000s. Nearly 6 million people rolled over their money in 2023, up from about 4 million over the same period. The IRS issued guidance on August 12th to try and simplify, standardize, and facilitate and expedite rollover. Pros and cons. I don't think they're discussing enough. Well, what the fuck are the cons? Then please, can you please tell me what the cons are? Why do I need to get like 6 pages in? And roughly 70. Wait. A rollover may not be required. Now they'll keep money in their prior employees' 401k. Workers have to roll over. They don't. Second myth may be irreversible. In most cases, you can go back to whence you came. Exchange traded funds and other investments found in workplace retirement plans. Those fees may not be readily evident since fund managers deduct them automatically from an account rather than having the investor pay directly. Often those fees are higher in an IRA relative to an employer sponsored retirement plan. You go from being an institutional buyer to a retail buyer. Interesting, interesting. It's 4% a year. If an investor pays 0.25% annual fee versus paying 1% a year, would have roughly 30,000 more dollars after 2 decades. Okay. Interesting, interesting. I'll pay my fees. I don't like that. I don't like people like guilt tripping you into tying up your money for decades somewhere in a retirement account versus like I'll just pay my taxes and fees but have access to my 50 fucking $1,000 if I need it should something arise. You know what I mean? Should something crazy happen. You know what I mean? Tom Lee, the ETH weekly gain of 30% historically signaled a large upward move Ethereum in weeks ahead. Totally agree with this. Totally agree with this. Was a big signal of handshake salute, my guy. Totally agree with this as a beginning signal of a bull market starting off the bottom and capitulation the other direction. Tom, look at this. You're ugly. You just hold 1%. Uh, Phantom is ceasing its support for Sui on September 24th. Users are advised to move their Sui to another wallet app or swap into supported assets by that date. Yikes. It's a bull market in Sui. It's not fair to say the president of the United States is the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. He's the dumbest motherfucker in the universe. Trump is the entire booth. Tell him he's looking the wrong way at once. Oh my god. Jesus. Yikes. 9 a.m. We got 30 minutes here till market open. 5 viewers now on Twitch. Couple viewers on X. Appreciate it, everybody. Stock's making the biggest move. Alibaba's getting crushed. Pretty much. Deadly mall attack puts Ukraine air defense at center. Wait, what? Mall attack? Why are we attacking a mall, please? French President Emmanuel Macron, UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz will co-chair a coalition of the Willing meeting Monday, aimed at strengthening support for Ukraine and increasing pressure on Russia. Further support for Kiev, days after Russian drone attack on a crowded shopping mall. Killed at least 16 people. What the fuck? The UK is now a participant in the war on Ukraine side and accused Burma's government of independent efforts toward an eventual peace. Dude, what the fuck, man? I just don't understand how people are so evil. Like, do we have to go to war? I was watching a very interesting YouTube video yesterday, and it didn't have to do with war, but it was. It was interesting. Was it this one? Maybe it was this one. Which countries will win in the 21st century? Was it that one? Street food. Look at all these dumb videos I watched. Some of these I didn't watch. It just when you play them. I have not watched that. The Molly Pirates we did watch. Not really though, because it sucked. This dude's cool. Corey Weigel bought a. I think this was it. Yeah, this video talks about like geographic locations, and it talks about how Poland is very like well set for geography, and I didn't notice that Poland was right next to. Oh my god, that put a comment on X. I didn't know that Poland was right next to Ukraine, and how all close this really is to Europe. Because I'm an idiot. Google Maps. Because I'm an idiot, and I didn't realize. Like, yeah, why? Before you just fucking show my house to people. Like, Russia's right there. That's Moscow. That's Poland, dog. I mean, you go through Ukraine, dude, and you're in fucking. You got a couple more things, and you're in Germany, dude. Like, I don't often think of these. I really think these are way more over here normally in my life. Like, when I think about Europe, like, I forget this whole section. The whole Czech, Austria, Croatia, and East, I kind of forget about. Like, I didn't know Estonia was all the way up there, and Latvia and shit. Lithuania. I kind of thought Poland was up over here. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. I'm just an idiot out here. Followed an inaugural meeting. They're having a meeting today. The mall attack killed 16 civilians, injured 128 people. Holy shit. By systematically targeting civilians and by choosing intimidation and escalation, Russia is likely seeking to project strength, but is above all revealing an admission of weakness. In this context, it is crucial to provide Ukraine with all the necessary means to defend its skies and thwart aggression. It's essentially that all countries with capabilities at their disposal also join this effort. I do think fucking Western Europe needs to join the fight and make sure there's a W here. For sure. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Wait, what? Oh no, that was on Friday. It's like, what? Did I miss a sub? Dun, 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 dun. Over 2,500 here. Just 25 minutes left. Crazy how nobody's really talking about the Strait or Iran anymore. Like, how's oil doing? Oil's down. Like, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed for so long, people have just found logistics around it, and it just is what it is at this point, right? Is that what's going on here? Opti says hello on X. What's good, Opti? How you doing out there, man? Thank you for joining us. The U.S. will unveil the single greatest financial offensive ever against Iran on Monday. This is going to start today. Tehran threatened to seize vessels that violate transit rules. The looming escalation comes as both sides miss a 60-day ceasefire window to reach a deal. Closing off the formal truce mechanism. We never had one. That shit was fake as hell. In a post on X Sunday evening, Besson said, "At dawn begins an economic D-Day." Oh, please, dude. Framing the coming measures as the end game for Washington campaign against Tehran. They're just going to go to China and get a bank account. Like, stop pretending like we're the only fucking money in the world. And like we haven't sanctioned Iran this whole fucking time. Drinking coffee, listening to the stream, let's fucking go. New measures will add to an extensive sanctions regime already targeting Iran's banking, energy, and we're already in crypto. Yeah, we got it. Claim that Iran's economy is in free fall. It doesn't sound like it. While little is known about the specifics of the new economic sanctions, the Iranian rial hit a new open market low on Sunday with the dollar surpassing 2 million rials. $1 equals 2 million of your dollars. Sucks to suck. Any nation that serves as a financial artery of a withering regime should expect to share in its isolation. Doesn't that, like, basically you mean like China? What are you actually going to do to China and North Korea and, like, any of the BRICS countries that are going to bank them? Can you please put a little, definition around that? Iran's enablers purchase and transport its petroleum. They facilitate the flow of its finances through exchange houses and free trade zones. They welcome Iran's fight and maintain registries on its behalf. They turn a blind eye to seaborne fuel transfers and the illicit use of their banks, all while concealing the extent of their complicity. So what the fuck you about to do about it, bro? Tighten its grip on the choke point? Like, what does this mean? Commander has been in the Iranian, blah, 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 blah. Any country that becomes a partner in creating economic restrictions against us will be regarded by us as the enemy. Who cares, dude? We will bomb you, bro. You're not really too much of a threat to anybody you've already shown, but you have shut down the strait. You have been able to shut down the strait and defend yourself on your land, let's say. Goes with a visit. Crude pulls back in Asia, trading Monday despite the looming escalation. Why is that? Have they found logistics ways around the strait? Is that why? Ships will pay for services provided. I mean, it just doesn't really sound like anything's changed over there. Mike Santoli. I do love Mike's content on CNBC. It's a ripe summer in the American economy, and the AC thermostat hangs in the hottest room in the house, the kitchen, where the sun streams in and the oven is always set to broil. Why is that? The thermostat in this case is the bond market, working to offset the blistering demand for debt from governments and companies by raising borrowing costs to multi year highs. The kitchen is the AI build out sector, desperate to turn some 2 trillion into vast reserves of computing capacity by the end of next year. The lift in bond yields isn't having much an effect in moderating the pace of capital raising and corporate investments, but it could threaten to overall other parties of the economy, such as housing and Main Street spending. Buy back small amounts of less liquid government debt in the open market. The move prompted a rather overheated response from market participants. Yeah, Bitcoin went insane. Criticism intensified after the initial drop in yields reversed a day later. Sharp declines in the US dollar, jumps in gold, and jumps in Bitcoin. Sell off in bonds inevitably inflames worry over long threatening fiscal breakpoint becoming a reality. Dude, this is the same narrative every 4 years. It's Groundhog's Day, dude. Too much inflation, too much government spending to try and tame inflation, oil going crazy, commodities going crazy, and then people start to look to fucking Bitcoin and crypto. They need to outpace inflation, so they look to crazier and riskier assets to try and do so. And then we blow up. In about 12 to 24 months, we're going to blow this thing the fuck up and go right back into a bear market. Right? Textbooks say the cycle high in real yields, the 30-year real yield or nominal yield minus market projection, now exceeds 3%, should act as a restraint on economic growth and equity valuations. So, really, higher interest rates should keep people conservative in times of crazy spending like this AI, but instead, we need to keep interest rates down, which is going to allow people to still make crazy investments, which will inevitably blow up in some way. Who knows how or where, but we will blow up. Less than 20 minutes till market open here. Interesting to see ETH climbing into the open. Up 2% on the day already. Let's see where the SPY is sitting. Just below break even. I mean, really. Qs are hurting. Let's see on the daily here. SPY is giving up all of Friday. Qs are giving up Friday and Thursday. SPY is giving up all of Friday, and that sits at about the middle point on Thursday. The difference here is the SPY was near all-time highs and broke out. The QQQ never rebroke, and now we're building this downward channel, which is really fucking scary on the daily chart, right? Yay, yay, yay. Do we do it from this one? And we got this like channel, this downward channel building here. I'm just drawing with crayons. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know technical analysis. I'm just a guy in my basement drinking coffee, a little stoned from the morning joint earlier before I get to work. So don't be out here being like, "Oh, it's technical analysis. The market's rolling over. I need to buy a bunch of puts and lose all my money today." No, no, no. Don't do that. Don't blame me. Bitcoin pushing 79. Almost 80K. DeFi is flying, dude. DeFi tokens are absolutely flying. Lee's buying a bunch, buys 81 million of ETH. New Solana vote could ramp daily SOL burns to 800,000 and slow new token creation. One of the problems with Solana is it did have high inflation, so that's very interesting. We've really gone through a lot. a lot of these articles this morning to kick off the week. It's been a very interesting past week and weekend on all of this. I'm really interested to see where our call options on BMNR open. I would think they'd open a little higher. We were at what, 723? I think we'll be over $8 when the market opens on the calls here. We're up 2%. That means BMNR should be up more than 2%. It's up 3.3% in pre-market trading right now, sitting at 23.59. ETH rallying. The ETH to Bitcoin ratio, dude, looks like it definitely wants to recover from here. And gold up 2%, pushing towards all-time highs here. Look at those daily. Those are daily candles, dude. Gold trading like a crypto right now. You love to see it. You love to see it. This is interesting. The equal weight S&P is leading the 2026 market, and its flagship trade just hit 100 billion. Equal weighted ETFs are having a moment. It's moved into the spotlight this year as many of the large cap stocks that have driven a disproportionate share of core stock market index performance in recent years have lagged. Gives every company in the underlying index the same share rather than market weight that mirrors core index itself. Using this approach leads a fairly small pack of roughly 30 equal weighted ETFs that invest across broad market indexes. 12 billion this year. S&P 500 in performance year to date by roughly 3%. Wow, driving assets under management for over 100 billion. Edged out the market weighted by 3%. People are paying attention. The Mag 7 aren't doing as well as the rest. That's very interesting. I do think the S&P and Qs are too heavily weighted into the top cryptos they hold. Oh wow. I saw fucking 46. I saw the 676 and I'm looking at ETH at 500 something, so I was like had a heart attack and thought ETH ran and we were about to have a super good fucking morning. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Thing's about to bounce. We're down 0.2% in the individual account. Wait till the market opens. There's about to be a big green bar there. Another big green bar. Up a couple K. That's what I'm looking for here. Up $1,000 to $2,000. Somewhere in there. Up $1,000 to $2,000. XRP has surged 50%. What? Did it go to $2? XRP has surged 51% to $1.50. Oh, yeah, it was at $1. So, wow. Bitcoin and ETH have gained 22% and 30%, while Sol has rallied 28%. XRP's outperformance followed a period of lackluster price action. The surge in XRP and other tokens began earlier after U.S. Treasury said that from December 9th, the buyback. Yeah, but it also, XRP kind of got mentioned, right? Didn't it get mentioned kind of like, or what's his name? Brad Garlinghouse was at that Trump thing last week, so people are all, speculating pretty hard over here, you know what I'm saying? Opinion passed. They're all on the Clarity Act. Every single opinion article is on the Clarity Act. Got it. I agree with that. Crypto's next billion users might be AI agents. I totally agree with that. We've pretty much read every article there is. We're just waiting to get paid at the market open in 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We're waiting to get paid out here. What's everybody looking at for the morning? Media M&A chill, Paramount, Warner Brothers antitrust challenge may hold up more deals than one. I don't understand how these are getting held up. Media is getting its ass kicked by streaming services and all this stuff. Like, and people are making movies from being YouTubers and Twitch streamers. Like, how are these companies still making money when they spend so much to make movies and content? I don't understand. Last month, Paramount agreed to put its tie up with Warner Brothers on hold till June 2027. Wow, 9 months past its planned closing with the antitrust challenge. Deal has already won approval by global regulators. Around larger deals and combinations. I think it should be able to happen. These people are getting their axe kicked. Fox Corp planned to acquire Roku. Comcast, after separating its own portfolio of cable networks into Versant, is now planning to spin off NBC Universal. So people are splitting. People are going to split instead of grow together. Like, what? There's a lot more people that trade on Twitch than I thought, to be honest. So many people trying to claim they make $1 million trading crypto and like have botted their viewership. That's fucking wild, chat. I wonder how many. Let's fucking do some investigation while we wait for market open. We have 10 minutes here. I'm not trading anything. See, I think some of these people are out here fucking Pioneer Motion, Terminal, 1.1K viewers. Yeah, fucking right. Not even showing your face and shit. Like, bruh, come on. Nobody's even in here, but it says there's people watching this bullshit. Dude, people are fucking crazy, dude. Eat my biscuits. At least this guy's true. And it says he has 31 viewers. Are these real viewers? Is this a real person? Why am I not hearing it? Oh, because I have this muted.
You give the Bulls three green candles and they forget how hard they got butt fucked the day beforehand.
Is this guy a real guy with 30 viewers? It's so hard to tell. Is it worth fucking rating anybody or not? You know what I mean? That's the problem out here. That is the problem we think you will have, my friend. Seven minutes till open. Let's fucking go. If anybody's watching on Twitch, who should we raid after this? We got 5 viewers over there. What channel would you go to next after the open? We play some trades, do our thing. Who's on? Who do you like watching? You know? Cooked? What do you mean we're cooked? What do you mean we're cooked, my friend? We need this to open. Oh no, ETH is pulling back as we go towards the open. Yikes. Where are we gonna go, Chad? Are we gonna get cooked? Is that what you're saying, Articamo? We're gonna get wrecked this morning? Is this where we need to gas off at the top in the open? Is the market really going to pull back? Are things going to get bad out there? S&P futures fall slightly as chip stocks slide outweighed the yield decline. No. S&P 500 futures fall slightly. Futures tied to broader market index fell about 0.2%. NASDAQ lost 0.6%. Dow Jones 0.1%. Decline in chip stocks weighed on equity futures Monday. Micron more than 3%. AMD, Broadcom 2% and 1%. The SOX semiconductor ETF slid almost 2%. Other tech stocks fell as well. Coherent, I don't even know what it is. Lumentum dropped 5%. SanDisk and Corning 3%. Seagate 4%. Treasury yields move lower to fund a buyback operation. Bonds would shop 5% last week, not seen in 20 years. Shed 4 basis points this morning. Last week, blah, 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 blah. The Treasury's attempt. Artificial intelligence will also be in focus with NVIDIA and Marvel Tech. Set to report earnings on Wednesday and Thursday. Interesting. A lot happening this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Very, very interesting. 4 minutes till market open. 4 minutes, chat. Trump shuffled his portfolio. President Donald Trump disclosed just over 1,000 financial transactions for the month of June. 1,000? Dude, 1,000's a little hot. Transactions totaled 78 million and 263 million, according to Trump's latest filing, which shows a range for each sale or purchase rather than an exact figure. His securities purchases tops 49 million, while his sales totaled at least 28.5 million. Of the 1,000 transactions, the largest was the 5 million to 25 million sale of Vanguard Dividend Appreciation ETF. That same day, he bought between 1 and 5 million of both Fidelity National Information Services and Home Depot stock in June, although he logged some sales of Fidelity as well. He sold 1 million and 5 million of Meta and Motorola, but snapped up the same range of shares in each of Berkshire Hathaway, Cintas, a Cincinnati company, Visa, MasterCard. Interesting. He also bought and sold Coinbase, RTX, Northrop Grumman, Palantir. President moved in and out of defense contractor Palantir. The U.S.-Iran agreed to a peace deal. Bought and sold. He offloaded between 116,000 and 300 shares and then bought between 50,000 and 100,000 on June 24th. Damn. President's out here. He's got time to swing trade and shit. 2 minutes until market open. Let's see the fucking number pop, baby. Which direction are we going to go at market open today? Where do we see the market going? 7 viewers. Our viewership going up into the market open, not down. Very interesting. Thank you all for being here, for not racing off to your other favorite streamers. Now that I remind you of that, feel free to. I'm just a guy in my basement smoking a little bit, drinking some coffee in the morning on a small portfolio. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. This is not financial advice at all. No financial advice. Just a man gambling with his life savings out here. Still 2 minutes. What do we do? What do I do for 2 minutes with my life? What do I do with my hands right now? You know what I'm saying? Stablecoin neobank Facet lands $1 billion valuation. I've never even heard of Facet. Facet raised $68 million in a funding round led by Japan's SBI Group, valuing the company at $1 billion. Followed a $51 million round in May. $119 for the year. Headquartered in Los Angeles, operates a financial platform that lets consumers and businesses hold, send, and spend and invest across currencies and assets using stablecoins as part of the settlement infrastructure behind the scenes. The company said it processes more than 40 billion in annualized transactions across 125 countries. I've never even fucking heard of these people. That's so wild. Institutional and retail businesses. Cards and bank accounts. What are they, like Rain? They're like a different version of Rain. Facet's business runs on Own Network, a proprietary AI-enabled Ethereum Layer 2 infrastructure built on Arbitrum. Connects banks, telecom companies, payment firms, liquidity providers, and other financial institutions across 100 bank corridors. Wow. Groups with investments spanning Ripple, Circle, DeFi lender Morpho. The Japanese conglomerate also owns crypto liquidity provider B2C2 and has backed blockchain infrastructure and stablecoin projects as it builds out digital asset business. Very interesting. I've never even heard of this company based in Los Angeles. Is the market trading? It is 9:30. Massive green candle. Love to see it. What are our calls trading at now? $7.88, up 9% today. Love to see that. We lost all our viewers during that at market open there. Love to see it. Our value is $15,000 over here alone in BMNR calls. Let's go. We're going higher. Can we hold 2,500 over here? Wow. Bitmine is flying though. Forget wherever ETH is. Bitmine wants to go up no matter what. How is this at 788? What's the ask at? Ask is at 815, dog. We going higher. Ain't nobody trading these. Last trade was 725. Good luck. Even higher, chat. Let's make some fucking money today, chat. ETH can sit at 2,500. The account is flying. Up a G today. I made a G today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta get out here, hit $1,000 lick, and go smoke a joint, call it a day. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta do that. That is a thing, my friend. We hit those. You know what I'm saying? We hit those. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you see this just ticking up? Psh, why is this ask price at 815? What are we doing? None of these are going to sell. What's the open interest on all these? There's only 230 of these open right now. Oh my god, chat. We're bouncing around. We're stuck in this little range here. We're stuck in the range. We're not going to push above $24. Oh wow, we got pushed all the way back to 23.56. Interesting to see. Interesting to see, my friends. We're gonna send it to somebody really new today. Oh my god, let's go. Bitmine, let's go, baby. Can we cross 24 bucks would be so sick. I mean, I'm not selling. I'm not going anywhere, chat. We're not going anywhere, my friends. I don't understand how this isn't worth a lot more, so I'm definitely not selling. I'm definitely not selling. 23.90, let's go, baby. All right, I'm going to get to work today. This has been fun. It's always fun to just stare at the chart and watch your money go up, but that's not really productive for me. There's really nothing I can do. I've already done my part. So we're going to raid the stock guy. I hope everybody has a great day. It's nice to see the market open, see where we make some luce. We're up a G on the day. What? These calls fell down. They fell down to only 793 after that little market open pop there. So we're up a G on the day. We're okay with it. We'll take our G for now. We're going to go do some work. Get ready for the day. We'll see everybody on the flip side. Cheers.